All right, we got how an immature Batman makes a better film. Oh boy, from Lance Lottie. Lancelotti? Oh my god, I'm so sorry, dude. I butchered your name. But let's just see this. I saw this little thumbnail. Yeah, that hit home. Let me see this.
The good cop, bad cop routine.
The goat. The goat Joker.
Let me ask you something. What's the difference between this scene
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
and this one?
You two have so much in common. Masked Avengers.
Or this other one?
Look at you. Your mask is amazing. I wish you could have seen me in mine.
Well, all three scenes
Okay, so to me, the Heath or the Christian Bale Batman was supposed to be at a time when Batman has some years under his belt, and I forgot that dude's name. The God damn it, the vampire bro. His Batman was supposed to be like a year two Batman, like not necessarily year one, but maybe he's got like a year or two under his belt, and maybe this is like year 2 or 3 Batman. So he's still kind of new to everything. He doesn't really know how to act yet, with confronting people in like a this type of a situation, and he's got his like get up on, and obviously he's in the police station, so everybody else is just like, oh shit, is that the Batman in there? Oh my god. So he's still getting his sea legs in this one. This Batman, Christian Bale Batman, he's grizzled.
scenes are interrogations between Batman and the villain of the moment, but they're very different from each other.
They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
And plus, this Batman has to go up against the Heath Ledger goat Joker. Okay.
Nolan's Joker and Bruce share a conversation that's practically a philosophical debate.
The only sensible way to live in this world is without rules. And tonight, you're gonna break your one rule.
Unlike the other scenes, the central theme here is identity.
You complete me.
Although in this case, we're not delving as much into the character's psychology. Instead, each of them represents an idea.
So you're gonna...
Anarchism, order. I will kill whoever, whatever, whenever, however I want. No matter what I'm doing, I will not kill you. I will bring you to justice. I am justice. I am vengeance. I am the night. So, yeah.
I have to play my little game if you want to save one of them.
And Joker's ultimate goal is to show how his nemesis's ideals can be broken.
Nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength.
Because in this scene, like, god damn, this is such a good movie. Like, you gotta realize that Joker is ready to die at any given moment. So he is prepared to die from literally just being punched to death from Batman. So, because that's what the main thing that Batman uses to intimidate people is fear. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to get like bataranged around their ankles and then hung upside down behind or from the top of a building and like almost fall and shit. Nobody wants to have to go toe to toe with like one-on-one combat against the Batman. He's got all these gadgets and shit. He can do all these things to like make you fearful of him. But when you take that fear away, his number one tool, or one of his best tools, and you go up against someone that doesn't have a fear of dying, then what tool do you have? You have no tools. Joker in his head, he's like, I'm ready to die right here, right now. Do it. You won't, you bitch. But the Batman gonna be Batman, and he's got his one little rule. He's just trying to make him break it.
On the other hand, The exchange in Reeves's film is more of a psychological introspection.
This is very upsetting to you.
Let's get back to him.
Why? You're so much more fun.
I'm not here to talk about me.
Bruce comes in seeking information, but in the end, he's the one who ends up being interrogated, because Reeves' Joker isn't trying to break Batman's philosophy, but rather his psychology.
You're just terrified. Because you're not sure he's wrong, huh? You think they deserved it, huh?
Of course, this scene is just
Whenever I first watched this movie, like, some lines were just like difficult to listen to because they were so muddled, is the word, maybe, or something, or muddled, like they blended. Like, I didn't even know that's what he said. You think they deserved it? Like, when I was watching this shit in the movies, I was like trying to like, so it might be like a clarity thing for me.
just a teaser, so we only get glimpses of the character, but it fits well with the movie's impressionistic, subjective approach, where the camera constantly tries to place us in Bruce's perspective. In this case, the blurred figure gives us an image of a Joker who is hard to look at, not the cool, calculated Joker of Nolan's films. And while the Riddler is pathetic, this Joker is terrifying, and in terms of appearance,
So meticulous.
unsettling. But what I find smart about this scene is how it also revisits the theme of identity, as it's the central theme of the film, and in this case, it's approached as an element of tension on multiple levels.
Who is he?
First, with who Riddler truly is.
He's a nobody. Wants to be somebody.
Second, with Bruce's own psychology.
I want to know how he thinks.
You know exactly how he thinks.
And third, and most importantly, the suspense lies in the visual reveal of Joker's complete character. And the same will happen in the scene with the Riddler, where it's not really a confrontation.
Bro, it's still so hard to believe that this guy was the Riddler. Because what were the movies he was in before? He was like the pushover kid. But bro, when he made this Riddler, I was like, damn, props. That was a good ass Riddler.
The Riddler, where it's not really a confrontation or a psychological interrogation, but more of a mirror.
All everyone wants to do is unmask you, but they're missing the point.
And today, I want to dive deeper into that. But before we get into that breakdown, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, War Thunder, the ultimate free-to-play military game where you command everything, from tanks and jets to naval ships in epic battles. And the best part, not only is it free, but it's also available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Mac.
Bro, why is it that these little mobile games can get cross progression way better than any other like any other big game title that I don't know. Like anytime I'm like listening to like the Apex bros, the Apex Legends peoples, they're still bitch moan complaining that there still isn't cross progression in a game that's like 6-7 years old or however old Apex is. It's like, damn, when you guys gonna get your priorities straight?
After trying it out, I can say what makes this game stand out is the variety and realism, because you can battle on land, sea, and air with a wide range of vehicles, from early 20th century tanks to modern military tech, and fully customize them to create your own style. It almost feels like you're crafting your own war machine, with game dynamics that make it feel like real combat. For example, there are no health bars here, so one well-placed hit can change everything. Add in realistic physics, immersive graphics, and highly detailed environments from all around the world, from Alaska to Africa.
That's a mobile game? Why does a mobile game look this good? Like, understandably, it's like, bro, this is like PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 graphics on a mobile game. Like, it's not that bad, or it's not that great, but it definitely ain't bad. Like, if you were to tell me this was a mobile game and I didn't know what War Thunder was, I would have been like, is this like some sort of like just tank simulator type of game? That's what I would have believed.
and it's like stepping into a Hollywood blockbuster. Plus, the new Dance of Dragons update brings even more vehicles, like a whole line of French combat boats, the British missile system, Stormer air defense, and the tactical bomber F-111, or this 2 top-tier Chinese fighter jets, the J-10A and the JF-17. So if that sounds like your kind of action,
I am always curious. So like, you know, like the history buffs of like like, I don't know, fighter jets or whatever, at least in America, do you think there's like, well, there's obviously like some sort of bias. Like it's either you either are a fan of fighter jets in general, and with that you have to like shed your bias on like America only fighter jets and like learn to appreciate like other countries' fighter jets, or you're just a fan of like your own country's shit. I don't know. Like that has to be like a division in some community somewhere. I guarantee it.
download War Thunder for free from the link in the description. And the cool part is that all new players and those who haven't played War Thunder for 6 months or more will receive the awesome bonuses you see on the screen.
Oh shit, you can rent stuff?
Big thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Now let's go back to the video. When I mentioned that the interrogation glass works almost like a mirror.
Bro, this little like reveal of him doing like the innocent like, you got me face is so funny.
I think it's an idea.
Like this guy is a criminal. Like he's just normal guy.
The movie visually establishes in a few moments, because it constantly draws parallels between the two, from small details like how they both jot down their thoughts in their journals as masked orphans, to how they're introduced. Each of them takes their vengeance in the same way during their first appearance.
Damn, I might have to go back and watch this Batman again. I think I've only seen it like less than a handful of times. But the Nolan Batmans, like the Christopher Nolan Batmans, I've seen like at least 10 times each. I think I gotta give this one another shot.
Both are captured in very similar low-angle shots. Bruce, a wealthy man, exacts his vengeance against a marginalized criminal, while the Riddler, a marginalized criminal, takes his vengeance on a wealthy man. In both shots, the camera captures them from below, and there is a sense of satisfaction in their body language once they accomplish their goal.
Get that dopamine going, get that catharsis going. It's like, I beat him dead, and I liked it.
As if vengeance makes them grow larger and brings them into a state of ecstasy. And there are so many similarities between the two that the film draws them from the very first shot.
Huh. I think upon the first viewing, or even like the second or third, I don't even think I picked that up. I might have to just go back and watch this one again.
Which is a brilliant introduction, because instead of starting with a typical opening, the movie does the exact opposite. The first thing we see is this mysterious point of view, and we have no idea who it belongs to.
I mean, you don't really have any idea, but I don't know. I think when I watched it, I was like, is this the Riddler like trying to spy on Batman? Or Bruce Wayne or whatever?
First, we might think it's Bruce, but soon enough, this strange perspective focuses on a child dressed as a vigilante, playing inside a mansion. And naturally, we might connect this kid to a young Bruce and assume it's him. Obviously, the image is deliberately ambiguous and unsettling, but it really puts us in the shoes of this unknown observer, and the sound lets us hear his heavy breathing. And it's a shot that pretty much captures all the key elements of the film. There is an orphan tied to the color red, dressed as a masked hero who loses a father figure important to the city. There are also other details like the constant religious imagery, with Ave Maria playing and nuns walking by, or the futility of authority, represented by a guard who will prove useless later that same night. But the most important thing it hints at is what we don't see on screen. The observer. A voyeur watching the city from afar, just like Bruce does. And the film wants to make this so clear that it later recreates the exact same shot in a mirrored scene. Even the composition of the frames is the same. The characters being observed are...
Bro, I am just too retarded to pick up any of this shit. On like the first, second, third, fourth, fifth viewing of a movie. Bro, I am just bad at picking up this stuff. I just know I liked it.
are two orphans sharing the screen with a loved one, who will be killed within a few hours, and they are being watched by two other orphans who view the city from their skewed perspectives. And this visual idea will come back later, once again mirroring shots from the perspective of another orphan, this time Selena. And it's no coincidence that, once again, these are shots where the focus is all about the gaze.
Are you sure no one can see these things in my eyes?
Don't worry. I'm watching you.
I think this is a very powerful scene because it's about Bruce discovering a new reality through her gaze, to the point where the camera literally puts us in her eyes. And
Yeah.
there are more than a few intense looks that really make us feel what it's like to be in her shoes.
These guys have a little problem with eye contact, don't they?
Feels good, doesn't it?
This becomes
That was actually like a halfway decent like perspective on like what it's like to be like a woman and just, I don't know, like walk around a club like that or something. I was like, yes, it's a movie and it's all planned out, it's all scripted and whatnot, but and that's the feeling that he wanted you to feel. But I mean, goddamn, if that's like true, I mean, to some degree, it's probably true. But like, damn, that's kind of crazy.
even more powerful when you realize the movie is always trying to put us in Bruce's perspective, sometimes using super close-up shots of his world, but especially through subjective shots that reaffirm his point of view, in both its detective scenes, as well as its action sequences and dramatic moments.
It's over.
And that's no accident, because if you think about it, Bruce's entire journey is really about discovering different perspectives.
There's a serial killer.
It's partly why I like the scene with the Joker,
I want your perspective.
although personally I wouldn't have included it, as it makes the film's message a bit too explicit.
You two have so much in common.
But the thing is,
Was it worth it? Compromising yourself for money?
Bruce's problem is that he's so wrapped up in himself and stuck in his past that he can't see beyond his own point of view. And this
Oh yeah, I forgot. In that little balcony scene, I think, isn't that where Selena Kyle was like, it's all about the rich white people or some shit? Bro, when she said that, I was so like, it's like someone punched you out of your immersion. That's what I forgot. And just seeing that scene again, I was like, oh, that's what was stupid about that movie. Oh, I remember now. Oh man. It was a pretty good movie, and they had to ruin it.
This not only leads him to make mistakes in his conclusions,
I think I'm his last target.
but the movie also portrays Bruce as quite naive, and, in a way, immature.
You have to keep up appearances. You're still a Wayne.
What about you? You Wayne?
If you notice, the only times he smiles in the entire movie are here, and in this other shot.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Falcone owes me that money.
He owes you.
Yeah.
And in both, you can see how Pattinson adds an extra layer of depth to the character, by making his smiles almost full of contempt or superiority, to the point where he almost breaks his Batman persona in front of Selena. And the
Oh, okay, I get what you're getting at now. Batman is stoic and knows how to imply, he knows like how to reserve himself. But those two scenes kind of imply that there's a little bit of, he's got like a little bit of an evil side because he is in like year 2 or 3 of this like becoming more of Batman. So yeah, I mean shit, dude, I think I would agree with you that the immature Batman is a little more interesting to watch. I mean, because most of the time whenever people like watch Batman, like we are at the point of we are watching prime Batman or old man Batman. Never have we have like so rarely seen like brand new year 1 Batman. Like we've seen the origin of Batman. We have seen like prime and old man Batman and so on and so forth, but we've never seen like Batman year 1, Batman month 1, first time Batman.
interesting thing is that the movie really emphasizes how wrong he is,
I want to know why a guy like Falcone would owe you anything.
Because he's my father!
because even though he's the world's greatest detective, this younger version still needs to learn more about the world and the society he's part of.
Didn't help my daughter when she needed it. I can tell you that.
guy was just another rich scumsucker.
And that's why two of the most important scenes in the movie are about something as simple as Bruce confronting new perspectives that make him change his own, like the climax, and of course, the interrogation scene. This particular scene is great because, as I mentioned, it works on several levels. First, we finally uncover the Riddler's complete identity.
I've been invisible my whole life. I guess I won't be anymore, will I?
Then, identity is used as a kind of weapon, building tension because at times we think it's being used against the protagonist.
Yeah, like when he said his name, like Bruce Wayne, like the Riddler figured it out. I was like, damn, the movie's going there. That part was crazy.
But then we realize that Riddler doesn't know Bruce is Batman.
He's the only one we didn't get.
And identity takes on a new dimension. This time, we get a glimpse of what the experience of a real orphan is like.
Living in some tower over the park isn't being an orphan.
And
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's like the one person that he thought was Batman, he knows it, but he doesn't have any evidence for it. So, and Batman is never gonna give away his like identity. So he has to have the poker face on, literally zero reaction.
I think including a scene that exposes your protagonist this much is a daring move, as the Riddler essentially roasts Bruce with the usual pop culture criticisms directed at the Batman icon.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the billionaire with the line.
Riddler essentially roasts.
Let me see. All too soon, sunlight stabs through my eyelids. Barely slept this morning. Okay, yep. He's just sitting there sleeping. And then when I did doze off, I kept seeing the boy in my dreams. And then, yeah. That was really well drawn. Like, what is this? Is it like a graphic novel?
Bruce with the usual pop culture criticisms directed at the Batman icon.
Wait. Always the same, staring at me as if I were the embodiment of his every misery. And not without reason, recently, Batman has been looming over him like an evil shadow, close by at every moment of loss and fear. As Batman, I'm more concerned with criminals than victims. Maybe it's time I started affecting changes without the mask. He doesn't want to have... Oh, wow. This is actually a pretty nice scene. It's like he's like finally realizing he has to use his public name to do good. Not just Batman. Bruce Wayne has to start doing better.
Let's talk about the billionaire with the lying dead daddy, because at least the money makes it go down easy, doesn't it?
But what's smart is that instead of ignoring them or trying to counter them,
your friend got involved with the wrong people. She didn't know any better. Maybe you should have explained it to her.
this movie embraces those flaws, making the character even more compelling.
You know, whoever the hell you are, you obviously grew up rich.
I mean, lines like these.
Damn. Whoever you are, you obviously grew up rich. That is kind of crazy that she could like pick that up, and it's like, as Batman, there's nothing really outside of the suit and the car that gives you away about like how much money you make. Obviously, if you see someone pull up like looking like Batman, have like a super juiced out suit and car, it's like, okay, he's got some money, sort of. But you don't really know, because isn't like Bruce Wayne supposed to be like a billionaire? Yeah. Like someone with like a couple, I don't know, 100 million could probably do that. Make a Batman suit and car. But the thing with like $1 billion is that you don't really realize how much money that is. $1 billion doesn't sound like a lot. Like 999 million sounds way more than 1 billion. It just sounds like it. So, and isn't Bruce Wayne like a multi-billionaire or something? I don't know. But still, to realize that to be able to pick up on the fact that, like, I don't know, with like how fast the movie was, with the ideals of Batman, kind of, Selena Kyle could pick up that he was like, he came from money, because poor people or middle class people don't think like that, is however he was thinking. And it's pretty funny that she was able to pick up on that.
Can be a bit on the nose, but I think they make sense because this version is really brave for humbling such an admired character, showing us a flawed, erratic human who, in my opinion, is much more interesting.
Oh,
I just had this thought. Does Batman and Bruce Wayne both have like main character syndrome? Probably, right? For sure. I don't know why. Because I have done that little like meander towards like a mirror, like this, like head down, like I have done that, but like in a mirror, like thinking I'm like a badass after I just watched an episode of Dragon Ball Z or some shit. And like I will subsequently try to like power up and go Super Saiyan. So it's like I see the body language and I'm like, he thinks he's a main character. Absolutely.
My opinion is much more interesting.
oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. I guess I gave you too much credit.
In a way, the movie almost serves as a response to superhero films in general, showing that brute force and willpower alone aren't enough. You need to understand the root of the problems to truly change the system. Otherwise, you might end up doing more harm than good.
What did we just do? I asked you to bring him in the light, and you did. We're such a good team.
We're not a team.
Especially coming from someone who's supposed to be one of the few people in the city capable of bringing real change.
You know, you really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything.
This theme comes up in his conversations with the new mayor, and it's explored in comics like War on Crime, where even Bruce himself wonders if, in a different context, he might have channeled all his anger over losing his parents into a life of crime. There, he also reflects on the fact that, sure, being Batman is great, but if he really wants to make a difference, he has to use his influence as Bruce Wayne too. And maybe that's something we'll see in a future film, since that conversation plants the seed for it.
I don't know. This is like, I think this is an issue with superheroes that have the dual identity. Like no one, like there are some superheroes that get the pass in that. So like take Iron Man, for example. Iron Man is interesting and Tony Stark is also interesting. Superman, he's like the good guy Boy Scout, always virtuous, blah, blah, blah. To some degree, he's not interesting. To some degree, he is interesting. Everybody wants to see, like, Superman fight. But when we look at Clark Kent, nobody's really interested in Clark Kent. Are people really interested in the character of Bruce Wayne over Batman? I think Batman is like way cooler than Bruce Wayne. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. But like, what would that movie look like? I mean, obviously it would still be like a Batman movie, but for Bruce Wayne to see like, so that, and that like, you could like divide up Bruce Wayne into like the public image of Bruce Wayne and the private image of Bruce Wayne. Cause like private Bruce Wayne, he's doing like the detective shit. He's like in the Batcave chilling in the computer, looking up crimes and shit, doing all his research, figuring out the 10 different ways to defeat some bad guy. Like that's private Bruce Wayne. But the public version of Bruce Wayne is just like some rich guy. Some rich guy. Oh wow, the rich guy bought the whole restaurant. Oh wow, the rich guy started a new business. Who gives a fuck? I mean, maybe if it was done the right way, it could be interesting, but I don't know.
Especially with how this movie ends, because by the time it reaches the climax, it definitely offers its own take on what it means to be Batman.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
In the Burton movie, I remember it was such an exciting moment when that guy says, you know, who are you? And he says,
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
that was such a definitive moment.
The hell are you supposed to be?
Somewhere early in the writing, I came up with this idea of him not saying I'm
vengeance.
Batman.
I'm vengeance.
Recently, I uploaded a video
That's such a
talking
good
about
line.
the history of the Dark Knight in cinema.
I'm Batman.
Because I was trying to compare the different
Damn, I got goosebumps. Oh,
cinematic versions of Batman and how each one is portrayed in its own unique way.
ooh, with the lines and shit.
Burton's version is a Baroque, theatrical madman, framed like a painting. Nolan's is an idealized neoclassical hero,
Nice coat.
rising with epic music and golden light as people look up to him, while Snyder's Batman is more of a
Bro, the Christian Bale Batman voice, where he just morphs his voice, I think it's endearing now. Like, everybody has probably seen like those College Humor YouTube videos of like Batman trying to do like figure out his voice and whatnot, but everyone was making fun of it at the time. But bro, like that version of Batman's voice, that's like the dark character that like I envision in my head. It's silly, but it's like, hey, I'm not thinking about it like all the time. It's like maybe if I'm in the gym and it's like I like hype myself up or something. But no, it's like when you morph your voice, it's like it's like an externalization of I'm in this mode.
brutal, disturbed demigod, terrifying the police and escaping like a beast across rooftops. And then there's Reeves, who presents his Batman as a grounded, real-world vigilante. And when he says his name, the response is not what we expect.
He's fighting a stranger as if they have personally harmed him. And I always just get the impression that he just wants to keep recreating the night where his parents died. All the fights seem very personal.
And this isn't a minor detail because, essentially, Bruce's journey is a search for identity, and maybe he doesn't answer that he's Batman because at that point he might not be there yet.
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
That's why during the climax we hear that line again.
I'm vengeance.
But the thing is, if both are vengeance, then what sets them apart? Well, the answer comes just seconds later when Bruce sacrifices his life in a moment that many might think falls outside the realistic logic of the film. But to me, it makes perfect sense because it becomes a chain of symbols where vengeance dies, leading to the birth of a new identity.
What is the Batman?
And this idea of death and rebirth shows up on several levels. If you close your eyes and listen to the soundtrack, you can hear how the vengeance theme evolves. Now more epic and uplifting, but fundamentally with bells ringing. And it certainly makes even more sense if you take into account that Reeves uses religious imagery throughout the movie.
My God.
Because in Christian tradition, those bells often symbolize death or baptism. That's why once Bruce solidifies his new identity, he ends up submerged in water, going through a process of purification.
The birth of the prime Batman.
Just like the city, which undergoes its own kind of flood, almost like a biblical deluge. It's the birth of the Batman, followed by his baptism, transforming him from a frightening figure
Please don't hurt me.
into one that brings light. He lets go of the idea of
That I am the shadows.
and instead becomes a light of hope that guides the way. And it's no accident that the first thing he does after this rebirth is reach out to take the mayor's son's hand. This isn't the first time he saves the boy,
Damn, really? Oh shit.
showing something beyond vengeance, empathy.
Bro, that little kid fucking is stupid. He always at the wrong place at the wrong time.
After all, both of them have experienced the same kind of loss, and the boy is a reflection of Bruce, allowing us to relive his trauma and the night that changed his life forever. His presence is a recurring motif throughout the movie, and in a way it encapsulates Bruce's journey. because every scene where the boy appears works like a little snapshot of Bruce's life. First, there's the loss, then the funeral in the church, which is so powerful because it represents the eternal mourning Bruce is stuck in, and finally, the rebirth, almost like Bruce is saving himself. And ultimately, his final consolidation is once again built on the gaze of others.
That's pretty cool.
If at first he was seen as
like all these like little things I didn't pick up.
a freak, now he is viewed as a hero people turn to for refuge. Not only does he see reality differently, but reality also sees him differently. And maybe that's what the Batman comes to remind us, that sometimes we just need to change the lens through which we view reality.
Yeah. Damn. Damn, dude. That was freaking awesome.
In the past,
that was a good ass video. Damn. I don't know. It's hard to make like a bad Batman video about Batman movie, Batman video. God dang. But no, that was awesome. Shit, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this one again. But yeah, that was awesome, dude, for sure. That's pretty much it for me. I got nothing else to say. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.